1 in 6 Americans lives today in student debt. 1 in every 2 lives in credit card debt that they carry month after month. That's 46% of the nation. And 2 out of every 3 Americans lives monthly paycheck to paycheck, making just enough to make it until the end of the month. These are statistics that were recently released by Congress.gov. And though they're specific to the US, I know that in the greater world, debt and making barely just enough to survive is becoming a bigger and bigger problem. And like many of us, I do not come from a wealthy family. My parents immigrated to the United States, and I saw firsthand my mom wait tables while my father was studying to get his university degree. And when I was born in the States and grew up living with my family, I saw that the argument every single night at the dinner table was about not having enough money. It became a normal thing that the occasional times that we did go out to a restaurant, my parents would remind me not to pick what I wanted to eat, but to pick what was cheapest on the menu. And I began to question, in society, what the schools, what the teachers, what my parents said, to go to school, get good grades, take on a student loan and a massive debt to get a job and to work that for the next 40 years of my life. Is that the right way to live? Could I take care of my family the right way? What I wanted was 2 things, probably similar to most of us here. I want to make an income and an impact. Number 1, I want to be able to pay the bills with an income, provide for my family, not get low-grade anxiety when I see the waiter bringing the restaurant bill, knowing if I can make the payment or not. And secondly, I want to make an impact. I wanted to make money that wasn't meaningless. I wanted to make money in a way in which I was making a difference in this world, helping other people. If this is the first time that we're meeting, my name is Richard Yu. And just a couple years ago, I was a broke university student and about $100,000 in student debt. And I was so broke at the time that I had to share a 1-bedroom apartment with 4 guys in a 1 nasty bedroom apartment. I would not recommend. And fast forward a couple years, by the age of 26, I had made over 27 million online, starting 3 online digital product businesses. I created over 62 full-time jobs across 12 different countries. And I lived completely debt-free. A house paid in full. My wife retired. My parents retired. And I traveled to a new country in the last 2 years, a new country every 4 to 6 weeks, running my phone, running my business from this little device right here, as long as I have a Wi-Fi connection. And this all happened because a few years ago, I made one core decision, one decision that changed the trajectory of my financial future. And that is what I'd like to share with you today of how we did that. You see, when I was 18 years old, my first year in university, I saw this traditional path of going to school, taking on debt, was not going to cut it for me. And so I did what any curious university student would do. I Googled on my old college computer, how to make money online. And I'm sure as you've seen, hundreds of options bombarded my face. I saw dropshipping, I saw selling products from China, I saw Amazon FBA, trading, real estate, Airbnb, all of these options. And so I fell into the rabbit hole. I read books, I watched hundreds of hours of YouTube videos. I used the little money I did have for my part-time job, and I invested into courses, coaching programs. I even found successful entrepreneurs on social media, sent them a direct message, and hired them for 30 minutes of their time just to get advice. And over the next 3 years, from ages of 18, 19, and 20, I started and failed miserably 4 different online businesses. And during this entire process, as I was starting and failing these businesses, I noticed something very interesting, a common pattern amongst all of them, which is that they all sold digital products on how to do their business model. I'm sure you've seen these online gurus, these business influencers teach on how to start an online business, the best way to make money online. And I bought those courses and I bought their books. And I noticed that this is what's called a digital product. Now, what is a digital product? Well, it's not a physical product. A physical product is something like a t-shirt, a watch, something you buy online and gets shipped to your door. Now, a digital product is something that you make one time. You type onto a PDF one time. You record on your phone one time, package it together, and it can be sold an infinite amount of times. There's no cost of goods sold. There's no shipping. There's no dealing with warehouses or inventory because it's digital. The moment a customer buys it, it gets shipped to their email instantly. And I did a little bit of digging and I found out that this digital product industry is actually a $300 billion per year industry in the US alone, growing 20% year over year. Forbes recently wrote an article on that. And when I did more digging on this, I couldn't unsee what I just saw. If you guys remember, in 2020 during the pandemic, the world shut down. Universities all went online. traditional offices went online, and students began to learn from their phones, from their laptop computers, and so did office workers. And when the world reopened back up, people realized it's actually kind of nice learning from home. It's nice working from home. And so the online industry of learning online, e-learning, continued to grow year over year. And when I saw this industry, I knew I had to give it one more go. So I found a business mentor. I hired him. He's specifically focused on selling digital products. And I remember the very first coaching call I had with him, I said, "You don't understand. Coach, I'm a 20-year-old student in student debts. I don't have any particular skill." But he told me, "Listen, Richard, you told me earlier today that you like waking up at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. in the morning. You're pretty productive. You got decent grades in school. So why don't you make a digital product, a video course, teaching university students how to be more productive?" And even though I didn't feel qualified, I did exactly that. I made a few PDFs that I typed out. I used my old phone. I recorded a few video modules, and I packaged it on a very, very simple Google Drive. And I priced it at $500 US. It was an extremely scary price. I had no idea. I did not believe that anyone would buy it. But here's what happened. The very first week that I launched this, I was 21 years old at the time. The very first week, I ended up making a $500 sale. I remember seeing that sale because it was so much more than the money. Besides the money, it was the fact that the income was actually going to produce an impact. It was a customer who would learn how to wake up early, have better habits, and be one step closer to landing his or her dream job. And over the next 8 months, that business did not just make one sale. It did not even make 10 sales. It made over 1,000 sales over an 8-month period. And if you do the math, 1,000 units of a $500 product that I made myself from scratch was $500,000, $500,000 made at the age of 21, and I was shocked. I paid off all my student debt. I began to help my parents. I was able to contribute to the family bills, and my life was never the same. And I had seen so many of my college peers observe my journey, and they started asking me, "Hey, Richard, I'm really passionate about fitness, and I can do workouts at home. Can I make a digital product on that?" Another one of my friends was passionate about languages. "Do you think I can make a course, a digital product on how to learn languages?" And so, as any friend would, I began to help out my friends casually for free. And the results were shocking. An 18-year-old college student, a friend of mine, Lucas, made a $600 digital product teaching people how to play a video game called Rocket League. His first 2 months, he ended up scaling the business to over $20,000. An English tutor who was sick and tired of repeating herself over and over and over on one-on-one Zoom calls, built a digital product teaching people how to learn English, an accelerated English program, $10,000 in their first 30 days. A friend who was passionate about skiing, you know the sport of skiing down mountains, made a $1,000 digital product teaching people how to ski better, $7,000 in his first 30 days. I could not unsee what I had just seen. Digital products exploding, passions, skills, problems that people had solved, exploding in this industry. And over the next 4 years, I dedicated my life to building an online educational institution, teaching people, ordinary people, how to build digital product businesses. And in the last 4 years, we've helped over 5,000 people do exactly that. Now, as this industry has been growing more and more, there was one new technological advancement that has recently come about: AI, artificial intelligence. And I'm sure you guys have seen the headlines. AI is replacing people's jobs. AI is going to wipe out entire industries. And I think that it's very much so true. If you look at Goldman Sachs, they recently released an article saying that over 300 million jobs are predicted to be replaced or significantly affected because of AI. Microsoft, one of the largest companies in the world, made a recent announcement that they intend on laying off over 9,000 jobs of highly skilled workers, engineers, in similar positions, because AI is here to stay. And whenever there's a technological revolution, I see there's two parties. The first party can sit in fear, announce its process, and do nothing with it. And the second side of the coin is to think, well, how can we then use this AI technology to our advantage, to protect ourselves and use it to create extra income? And so right now, today, over the next few minutes, I'd like to share with you 3 simple steps, 3 keys on how to use artificial intelligence in order to build a digital product business, regardless of if you're a university student or a university professor, regardless of if you're a busy stay-at-home mom or corporate executive working 70 hours a week where you feel you don't have enough time, how anyone, regardless of your technical background or previous experience, can launch a digital product business leveraging AI to do the technical work for you. And so the first step out of these 3 is what I call product selection. First off, you gotta have a digital product to sell. Now, for some of you in this room, you may already have an idea. Maybe you're thinking about helping people solve a particular skill a problem that you've solved. And the simplest way to build a digital product is to think through, what is a problem in your life that you have solved? Maybe it was losing weight. Maybe you were able to go through a divorce. Maybe you were able to learn a language very quickly, a passion, a sport. Well, it turns out if you solve the problem, there's probably thousands of other people in the world that are currently struggling with that exact problem. Make a digital product on that. Now, for the other side of the room, and this is likely the vast majority, you're probably just like I was when I was a 20-year-old broke college student. I don't have an idea. You don't understand. I'm just a college student. I'm just an ordinary mom. I'm just a normal 9-to-5er. I don't have a digital product idea. Well, it turns out you don't need a digital product to run a digital product business, because there's a new way called product arbitrage. You see, there's hundreds of digital products that are already made. Authors, experts, coaches, consultants that have made their own digital products, but the problem with them is they don't know how to market and sell them. So they actually upload their digital product onto marketplaces, and they give generous commissions. I'm talking 50 to 85% commissions on digital products to ordinary people like you and I if we sell them on their behalf. And this isn't a normal old concept. If you think about Uber, does Uber own millions of cars? No, Uber simply controls the technology that connects drivers with people who need a ride. They arbitrage cars. That's what we do with these digital products. So let's take an example of a $500 digital product. It could be anything: fitness, health, marriage counseling, learning a language, losing weight, mindset, psychology. And let's say that this digital product was made by an expert who's willing to pay us 50% commission. 50% on $500 is $250. So if I make one sale per day over the next 30 days, one sale over a period of a month, every single day, 30 times 250 is $7,500 US. That's $7,500 for selling a digital product that I did not even have to make myself, a full-time engineering salary. And so the thing is, regardless of whether you make your own digital product or you arbitrage someone else's digital product, you don't need to have a product problem anymore. We have a digital product now. Step number 2 is what I call leveraging AI to do the technology for us. You see, a couple years ago, in order to build a website to sell a product online, we would have to hire an engineer, a graphic designer, all this complicated technical work in order to build a website. Not anymore. It turns out with a couple clicks of a button and prompting using simple free AI tools, you can actually leverage AI technology to build a website in under 60 seconds. And I've seen this time and time again. Websites that are high converting, perfected to sell your digital products that you didn't even have to make yourself. So now you have a product, and step 2, you have a website. That brings us to step number 3. Where do you find your customers? Well, you're not going to go knocking on doors and selling this to your neighbor. What we're going to leverage is step 3, organic content scaling. Organic content scaling is leveraging the power of social media in order to run our digital product business. Because it turns out that platforms like Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, that when you post simple 7 to 11 second videos that give value and solve people's problems, that these platforms will actually reward us with hundreds, if not thousands of free views. I'm sure you've seen the TikTok dancers. Don't worry, you don't have to dance on TikTok. What we do instead is we leverage AI technology to make the content for us. You see, another big problem that a lot of us have is, well, I don't want to show my face online. I'm not good at speaking. I don't want to show my face online. I'm camera shy. Well, did you know that there's now an economy of AI influencers where you can use AI to make 7 to 11 second videos of cloning yourself or of showing someone else? I personally have over 900,000 followers on Instagram. 40% of my content, transparently, is done by AI, and my audience doesn't even realize it. AI is coming sooner than you know, and it's coming fast. And so as you solve step number 1, you have a product. Step number 2, you have a website. And step number 3, you now have content that can attract interested buyers, where every one view is a potential buyer. The final concern then becomes, I don't have enough time. Richard, wait until you have kids. Wait until you work a crazy busy job, because it's just not possible. And can I remind you of something? People don't have time. They make time. And they make time for the things that matter the most to you. And every single one of us here today has a dream of providing for our family, a dream of traveling the world, a dream of being debt-free. But if you don't sacrifice your dreams, then your dreams ultimately become the sacrifice. And so I look forward to solving the world's problems, one digital product at a time. Thank you.